Chapter 81. You are listening at novelfold.audio. Hey, Ace. Don't be reckless, Luffy, Ace, seeing the magma coming, Akainu threw a punch too. Boom, the second their fists connected, Ace's expression twisted, that feeling, it was an intense burn. Scorching flames and terrifying magma collided in a wild explosion. The two forces, both incredibly hot, ground against each other before detonating in a massive bang. A figure was sent flying, pirates watched in horror. Ace, he got burned. Ace was taken down in one hit, Ace clutched his arm, his face contorted in pain, and dropped to the ground. After getting the flame fruit, this was the first time he'd felt anything like this. He wanted to teach Akainu a lesson, but right now he just felt totally powerless. Run, Ace, the pirates covered their retreat, and Ace and Straw Hat Luffy kept running. Kurosawa watched, speechless. Was this what they meant by getting wrecked both physically and verbally? Whatever, I'll just take the reward, go get him, Blackbeard teach. Boom, another shockwave blasted away hundreds of pirates. Teach was getting the hang of the tremor fruit fast. Ha ha ha. Pops, this power is perfect for me, a sinister glint lit his eyes. Teach clenched his fist and punched the air towards the fiery figure. Ace. Boom. Crackle, the unstoppable shockwave was like a massive tornado, sweeping pirates away like trash. Watching the devastating shockwave barrel towards him, Ace tasted blood. How can that bastard use Dad's power? Fire fist, Ace threw a punch, unleashing a huge pillar of flames like a flamethrower. It slammed into the shockwave. Bang, even from that distance, Teach's shockwave overpowered Ace's fire fist, the ground cracked violently, and rocks sprayed everywhere from the force of the impact. The blast of wind tore through Ace. But Ace had already activated his Logia form, so the rocks didn't really hurt him, just punched a few holes in him. Straw Hat Luffy wasn't so lucky. After a series of near-death battles and the ordeal of rescuing Ace from impel down, Luffy's body was pushed way past its limit, blood flew as rocks pierced Luffy's abdomen and thighs. Ugh! He groaned and collapsed. Luffy! Get up! Ace turned, his face paling. Cough cough. Oh. K. Ace. I'll get up. Bang, Luffy tried to get up, but his body felt like lead. He was so tired, numb to the pain, and just wanted to pass out. Crocodile and Ivankov, who had been watching Luffy, instantly knew something was wrong. Straw Hat Boy. Ivankov, who had performed special surgery on Luffy to boost his potential, knew best that Luffy was done. His body had reached its breaking point. You villains. Today you die. Akainu's fist turned into molten lava. He was about to unleash a barrage of magma dog heads at Luffy. Damn you. Boom. A huge explosion tore apart half of Akainu's body, leaving him only able to launch 3 magma dog heads. Ivankov called out, Crocodile. If you keep hiding, I'll spill everything that happened back then. Huh. Veins bulged on Crocodile's forehead, and he clenched his remaining fist. You dare threaten me? Think that'll work? Desert reincarnation. He touched the ground, instantly turning the hard rock tiles under his palm into sand that spread rapidly. Navy soldiers who touched the sand instantly had their moisture sucked dry, and he wasn't done. Furious, Crocodile channeled more power, creating a flying sand blade that ripped through the ground towards Akainu. Desert sword, Akainu's body was sliced open again, and he scowled. You disgusting pirates. Nothing can stop me today. Akainu charged toward Luffy. Seeing the 3 magma dog heads hurtling towards Luffy, Ace's flames surged. He summoned all his remaining strength to create 2 flaming spears and hurled them at the magma dogs. Sacred fire, fire pillar. Boom, magma and flames exploded, barely blocking 2 of the attacks. 1 magma dog was still heading straight for Luffy. Luffy. Bear, not seeing Luffy in mortal danger, Ace moved with incredible speed, turning into a flying blaze and colliding with the magma dog. Bang! Ugh! Ace clutched his stomach, his face twisted in pain. Blocking the magma dog had left him with massive burns. But at least he had blocked it. Savor this. This is the price of your sins. I want you to watch your brother die right in front of you. Akainu's voice boomed, and Ace's eyes widened. Luffy. Akainu stood right in front of Luffy and threw his punch. Thump. Ace. Luffy stared, stunned, at the figure in front of him. The incredibly destructive lava burned away even the endless flames. Ace's body blocked the attack, his right arm completely melted, and most of his torso was penetrated by the lava. He coughed up blood that splattered across his body. Ace's life force began to drain away rapidly. Ace, amid the pirates' cries. Ha ha ha. Ace. I'm here to save you. Teach laughed and unleashed a massive shockwave towards Akainu, affecting a huge area. Boom. Ding. Congratulations to the host for controlling Teach to kill. Please rate and give me some free electricity, dear readers. Thank you so much. Chapter 82. You are listening at novelfull.audio. With a booming laugh, Blackbeard Teach punched the air, creating a milky white shockwave. Bang! Crack! The atmosphere cracked, then exploded in a massive tremor, hurtling towards Sakazuki. Sakazuki stared silently at the incoming wave. He didn't know if he was a goner from this non-hockey-infused attack. Either way, Ace was definitely done for. Ace. Straw Hat! The crowd erupted as the shockwave engulfed Ace, Luffy, and Sakazuki. Boom! The tremor fruit's power was insane. The shockwave ripped the earth apart, kicking up a massive dust cloud. No one knew if Ace and Luffy had survived, except for Kurosawa. Ace was already dead after Akainu's attack. Figuring he wouldn't let a good corpse go to waste, Kurosawa simply had Teach finish the job. Ding. Congratulations, host, for controlling Teach to kill Portgas D. Ace. Unlocked Special Achievement, Fall of the Devil's Lineage, 1/3. Achievement Stage Reward Conditions Met. Reward, 50 trillion bounty. Random skill upgraded by 2 levels. Jackpot. Kurosawa grinned, hearing the system's announcement. While everyone nervously watched the dust settle, Kurosawa strolled through the battlefield of Marineford. System, check bounty balance, normal bounty, 64,052 points. Trillion level bounty, 156,450 points. 2 rounds of imaginary mass, Violet blasted the siege walls, netting Kurosawa nearly 40,000 trillion level bounties. Finally, Kurosawa's bounty exceeded 100,000, but 156,450 trillion level bounties were only enough for 1 skill upgrade now. Thanks to a suite of LV5 skills, Kurosawa could go toe-to-toe with an Emperor-level opponent and probably win. There was a good chance he could even one-shot them in the infinite space. After all, even Whitebeard, with his own battle instincts, struggled against the domain, infinite void. Maybe a powerful conqueror's hockey could counter it, but that was just a guess. What I need now is a damage skill that can actually kill an emperor. I'll hold on to my points, but I'm upgrading a random level. Guys like Kaido and Big Mom had cheat-level resilience. They were so tanky that they might shrug off all his big moves. The Curse King's healing reduction didn't help much against that kind of health bar. It was more effective against characters good at comebacks, like Sun God Nika or Marco the Phoenix. Kurosawa smirked, eyeing the remaining Whitebeard Pirates commanders. System, upgrade. He wasn't expecting an ultimate skill, but even reversal, red scale or hollow purple would be a massive win. Ding. Randomly selecting a skill to upgrade for the host. Ding. Congratulations, host, for successfully upgrading armament hockey to LV7. Damn. Kurosawa sighed, but it wasn't a bad result. It would cost 150,000 trillion bounty to get armament hockey from LV5 to LV7. He was getting a steal. Plus, LV-7 armament Hawkeye went beyond advanced techniques, allowing internal destruction like Ryuo or higher-level hardening and entanglement. Perfect. His blue eyes scanned the battlefield, locking onto the most distracted target, and then he vanished. Ha ha ha. Sorry, guys, I'm still getting used to Whitebeard's powers. Under Kurosawa's control, Teach wandered towards the gap in the siege wall. He didn't suspect a thing, thinking it was his own will. What's wrong, everyone? Don't you want to avenge Pops? Are you just going to run? Bang! He unleashed a milky white shockwave, disrupting the Whitebeard Pirates' formation. On a pile of rubble, Garp's face was thunderous as he started towards Sakazuki. What the hell are you doing, Garp? Stop! Sengoku tackled Garp, slamming his head into the ground with a thud. Blood trickled from Garp's forehead, his eyes bloodshot as he relived the image of a Kainu tearing half of Ace's body apart. His rage threatened to overwhelm his remaining sanity. He growled. Sengoku. Just hold me down. Or I'll lose it and kill Sakazuki. Sengoku gritted his teeth, pinning down his longtime friend and comrade. Garp. Sengoku didn't want to see Garp suffer, torn between justice and love. Boom. Boom. Damn Blackbeard. As the captain of the Whitebeard's 8th Division, the fishman Namor weaved around Teach's shockwaves, racing towards Ace. Damn Akainu. Get a medic. King Du, captain of the 11th Division, looked grim as he ran with Namor. Ace. Diamond Jozu, focused on fighting Kizaru, heard his crewmates' shouts and felt a wave of dread. He hadn't seen Ace get wrecked by Akainu, but he had a terrible feeling. Ace. Check on him. Where's the doctor? Go. Rakuyo looked at Shinyen anxiously, failing to notice Kurosawa's rapid approach. Even if he had, it wouldn't have mattered. With LV-5 Six Eyes, Kurosawa's speed was unmatched, especially on a chaotic battlefield. With Kurosawa's abilities, assassinating a pirate below Emperor level was child's play. Under the cover of Teach's shockwaves, Kurosawa, already impossibly fast, materialized silently behind Rakuyo. Rakuyo, watch out behind you. Chapter 83. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Before the words were even out of his mouth, the reversal spell slammed into Lakio's head, and the light completely faded from his eyes. Ding. Congrats, host. You wasted Lakio. Score, 54.5 trillion points. Kurosawa was surprised. As a captain of the Whitebeard Pirates, Lakio's bounty was higher than he expected. Captain Lakio. The pirates cried out in despair as Namuel and Kingudo turned to see the light leave Lakio's eyes and his body crash to the ground. The intense red energy bolt tore through Lakio's head and kept on going, blazing across the battlefield. Kurosawa was a master of spell control. Punching a hole through a head with zero Hawkeye defense barely cost him any juice on the reversal spell. No point in wasting the power to let it explode. Ahem. He offed the guy I was fighting for ages without a second thought. That's my boy. Huashishin coughed, his eyes filled with admiration. Kobe. Kobe. Wake up. Birumaber was shaking the semi-conscious Kobe, oblivious to the red-nosed crew rushing toward him. Can we actually win this? Is Ace really gone? So many sacrifices, and for what? My old man's dead, Ace is dead, and all the captains are dropping like flies. Panic consumed the battlefield as the pirates lost all hope. Their will to fight evaporated, leaving them unable to even put up basic resistance as they scattered. Kingudo screamed, Lakio. Namuel snarled, Kurosawa. That bastard again. Even the Whitebeard Pirates captain started feeling the fear. With so many powerful allies falling, even they began to have doubts. Never mind the ordinary crew. The solemn words spoken before the war echoed in their minds, now shattered by Kurosawa. Oh, total wipeout. Family is it? Borsellino's gaze shifted erratically, occasionally glancing at the dust cloud. As the smoke cleared, Ace and Straw Hat Luffy lay motionless on the ground. Kingudo and Namuel raced to their sides. The sensitive fishman Namuel leaned over and checked for a pulse. No breath, Namuel said, his face growing horrified as he looked up. Hearing Namuel's words, Kingudo was silent. But his brother, the Straw Hat Kid, is still breathing. Namuel added, and Ivankov and the others sighed in relief. Puff, starred at a diamond-hard punch blew through Borsellino's body. Jaws, his face twisted with rage, ignored the elemental Borsellino and zeroed in on Kurosawa, who stood there smiling. Gone was the composed and refined pirate, the captain of the Whitebeard 3rd Division. His mind was consumed by a single thought, vengeance. His eyes locked onto Kurosawa and his muscles tensed as he charged. Hey now! Am I invisible here? Hearing that Straw Hat Luffy was still alive, Borsellino reformed his body, raised a finger, and began charging a laser beam aimed at Jaws' path. Swish, boom, the explosion engulfed Jaws' form, blasting him into the air, diamonds and all. An icy blue light flashed, and the extreme cold instantly encased Jaws' body. When he hit the ground, he had become a solid ice sculpture. The pirates were thrown into even greater despair. Captain Jaws. Even Captain Jaws. The admirals are running wild now. It's over. We're done for. Kazan exhaled as he gazed at the frozen Jaws. Well, that's that. Buzz, starred at a red light zoomed past, catching Kazan off guard. What's this? Boom. The light plunged into the Jaws ice sculpture and exploded with such force that it created a white hemisphere that expanded across the ground, engulfing Kazan in surging cursed power. My bad, Admiral Kazan. Kurosawa grinned. Under Kurosawa's control, the reversal spell darted across the battlefield. He had been planning to take out Kingudo and Namuel, but decided to prioritize Jaws. He didn't want Borsellino getting any bright ideas about zapping him with a laser. Ding. Congrats, host. You wasted Jaws. Score, 1.05 trillion points, billion level bounty value, 261,450 points, the sweet sound rang in his head as his billion level bounty value soared. Now, only 2 of you left. Kurosawa turned, his blue eyes fixed on Kingudo and Namuel, and vanished. What's going on? Not even Jaws. Look out! Kingudo was terrified, but Namuel was the first to spot Kurosawa in the air beside them, handsome face, striking blue eyes, but to Kingudo and Namuel, he was a demon straight from hell. Hey there, pleasure to meet you, watch yourself. Kurosawa raised a finger, red light flashing as the cursed energy of the reversal spell surged around him, creating an invisible dark vortex that gave him a twisted look. Run! Kingudo screamed, but saw that Namuel had already bolted dozens of feet away. Marty! Kingudo cursed. The constant beatdowns and Kurosawa's relentless pressure had revealed the pirates' true nature. The idea of protecting their comrades had vanished, replaced with the instinct to save their own skins. Yep, show me your back. Kurosawa watched Namuel's retreating form, and his excitement grew. He shifted his aim away from Kingudo and focused on Namuel. I heard you fishmen are tough as nails. Point 2 reversal spells shot out towards Namuel. Boom! Even the best vice admirals couldn't have dodged the level 5 reversal spell. Namuel panicked and only caught a glimpse of the red light reflecting off the ground beneath his feet before the deafening blast swallowed him whole. No ding. Kurosawa frowned. No way, is he really that tough? Even though it was an instant reversal spell that didn't drain much mana, it was still at level 5. Just as Kurosawa was about to follow up. Ding. Congrats, host. You wasted Namuel. Score, 48,500 billion points, billion level bounty value, 309,950 points, Kurosawa grinned, looking at his billion level bounty balance. With 300,000 billion points, he could finally upgrade his ultimate skill. While Kurosawa celebrated, Kingudo trembled, his heart sinking into the abyss. Chapter 84. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Across massive screens worldwide, countless people watched this epic battle unfold. Even though the fighting raged on, many had already decided who they believed would emerge victorious. Looks like the challenger is clear. Whitebeard's the challenger, no doubt. The Navy's still the strongest. So. Fire Fist Ace is done for, right? Half his body's gone, and he took a shockwave like that. He's gotta be dead. Speaking of Kurosawa, though, that new Navy hotshot is surprisingly strong. I swear, he took down like a dozen Whitebeard Pirates captains single-handedly. TCH, sounds like he's just picking off the weak ones. Whitebeard's already past his prime. Heh, you think you could pick one off? Putting opinions aside, is there really nothing they can do? Honestly, Whitebeard's finished, and all the captains are falling. Even if the Whitebeard Pirates escape, they're through. Wiping out a Yonko crew, plus those superpowered pacifista lasers, this is the Navy of a new era. Even Barrett, the so-called demon heir, got his butt kicked by an admiral. The Navy's the strongest, period. This war is as good as over. In the hallowed halls of Mary Gios, the 5 elders also followed the live broadcast, using a special Den Mushi, quite different from Buggy's setup. The elder focused on science and defense scanned the room. You've all seen the pacifista's combat capabilities. The elder of finance nodded. Decent power. Ordinary billion-belly pirates are no match, but they still fall short of expectations. And the investment outweighs the cost of a warship. I think. After a moment of silence, the elder of law turned and asked, "What's the progress on Seraph?" The elder focused on science and defense replied, "Still working on it, but we'll have results soon." The elder focused on agriculture gazed at Kurosawa's image on the screen. Kurosawa's demonstrated exceptional fighting skills. The elder focused on environment agreed. Yes, his speed and the force behind his attacks are beyond standard. He's a natural-born killer. Exactly. After the war, we should extract his bloodline factor and see if there's a chance to bring him into CP or make an exception and let him join the God's Knights. The elder of finance considered this, frowning at the flickering word darkness. Ha ha ha. Ha. Teach, mid-laugh, blinked in confusion. What did I just do? Teach, what are you planning? You don't think killing some worthless pirates makes up for your crimes? Behind him, Shiryu, bloodied, eyed Teach warily. His behavior had been strange from the start. No, I think it's time for us to bail. It's too early to challenge the Navy right now. Kurosawa stopped influencing Teach, allowing the latter to regain control of his thoughts. After all, while he had killed pirates, he'd also wrecked a good chunk of Marineford, which suited Teach's original goals to some extent. Now, Teach simply thought he'd momentarily lost sight of his goals. Scanning the battlefield, Teach tossed his cloak aside. In this mess, the Whitebeard Pirates are even more pathetic than I thought. His gaze shifted to the swirling vortex in the distance. Sakazuki aside, the 3 admirals still have plenty of fight left. And Barrett, that jerk, wants to play. I'm out. Let's go. King Gudo watched the floating figure and finally made up his mind. If he couldn't escape with mere speed, he'd have to fight to the bitter end. With a flexing of his arms, his armament haki hardened and enveloped him. Years of relentless training in countless battles had honed King Gudo's armament haki to an intermediate level. Combined with the iron arm guards he wore, he could pulverize even fortified turrets with a single punch. Damn you, Kurosawa. If you've got any guts, come fight me, man to man. What's the point of hiding way out there and shooting that blasted laser all day? Lost in thought, Kurosawa shifted his gaze to King Gudo. Without a word, Kurosawa vanished, reappearing a mere yard from King Gudo, and threw a punch. King Gudo was instantly terrified. The kid actually dared. In a panic, King Gudo instinctively braced himself, crossing his arms in front of his chest to block the blow. With a deafening boom and the sickening crack of breaking bones, Kurosawa's fist glowed with a blue light. The power of Shuntover Tsang, combined with his armament haki and black flash, reached its peak. Sizzle. Kingudo's intermediate armament Hawkeye was as fragile as tissue paper against Kurosawa's punch. Black lightning erupted, and the internal destruction caused by the overpowering Hawkeye shattered Kingudo's iron arm guards and his arm bones. Ag! Kurosawa's punch barely slowed. The terrifying force bore into Kingudo's chest, crushing it inward and causing him to cough up blood. Kingudo's vision blurred as he passed out from the immense force. Bang! Kingudo was slammed into the ground with a single punch. Dust and smoke billowed, burying his body. Kurosawa examined his fist. LV-7 armament Hawkeye plus LV-5 technique forward, Tsang. Even with my physical strength being so far behind these monsters, I can take him down with a single punch. The system didn't make a sound just yet, but Kurosawa could clearly see Kingudo's broken body lying in the crater through the dust and smoke, thanks to his sky eye. This punch hadn't killed him instantly only because Kurosawa hadn't used his full power, but even so, the internal damage from the armament Hawkeye and the gravity of the technique forward rotation, Tsang had already shattered Kingudo's internal organs. He wasn't dead yet, purely because people in this world had ridiculously high vitality. Captain Kingudo. He took down Captain Kingudo, who's a hand-to-hand combat specialist, with one punch. What kind of monster is this Navy Kurosawa? Kurosawa turned, his eyes sweeping over the surrounding pirates. None dared meet his gaze. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully killing Kingudo. Obtained a bounty of 35,200 points of the billion level. Ding. Congratulations to the host for achieving the achievement, the fall of the Whitebeard captains. Chapter 85. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Reward, 100 million bounty plus 80,000 points. 15 bottles of Feitian Mutai. 100 million bounty, 425,150 points. Wait, is this really Feitian Mutai from my old life? Kurosawa stared at the 15 extra bottles of Mutai in his system inventory, lost in thought for a moment. He wasn't sure what that wine would even taste like in this pirate world. Back on the battlefield, pretty much every Navy soldier still standing was pumped, enthusiastically chasing down the routed Whitebeard pirates. Gotta hand it to Straw Hat Luffy, though. That kid had some serious luck. Even in this mess, he somehow got snagged by Sea Knight Jinbe. Whoa, Kurosawa, you're a wild one. If I hadn't reacted fast, I'd be nothing but ash. Kazan's voice cut through the air. The guy's uniform was a mess, dust coating his nose, and he didn't look too thrilled. Kurosawa couldn't help but smirk. Kazan had done him a solid earlier, but even with the ice shield, the spell reversal still packed a punch to make sure Jaws went down. Now, Kazan was a mess. My bad, Admiral Kazan. Drinks are on me when we get back. Kurosawa said, trying to sound apologetic. Huh? How did you know I like to drink? Kazan asked, surprised. Not many people in the Navy knew that little secret. Yo, slacking off on duty? Borsalino appeared in a flash of golden light nearby. Kazan, you're talking about slacking off. You're the last person who should be saying that. Kurosawa thought to himself. Kazan shrugged. Hey, Borsalino, Kurosawa just took out a ton of captains. Can't fault him for catching his breath. Oh, really? Borsalino pretended to be surprised, his eyes drifting towards the giant-sized brawl raging in the distance. While Borsalino and Kazan were joking around and saving their energy, Sakazuki was clearly having a rough time. Boom! 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 Each deafening explosion sent boiling magma splattering everywhere. The intense heat instantly reduced anything edible to charred dust. Ha ha ha. So this is all the Navy's got. Send Kurosawa or Garp to face me. Barrett, somehow, had snuck over to another section of the siege wall and absorbed most of it, creating a gap in the process, but no pirate was brave enough to try and escape through it, not with boiling magma raging and colliding with Barrett's steadily growing mech. Barrett. Trying to help Straw Hat, huh? Figures, evil guys stick together. Sakazuki's eyes blazed with fury. He pulled the same trick he used on Whitebeard, conjuring a lava giant of equal size. The ground glowed red, the air was stiflingly hot, and the insane temperature warped the air and continued to melt the ground of Marineford. Truth was, Sakazuki was injured and holding back. Otherwise, he could turn the entire plaza into a molten hell. Ha ha ha. Enough chatter. Eat this. Barrett roared, coating his mechanical fist in hardened armament Hawkeye and slamming it into Sakazuki's lava giant again. The incredible speed and force compressed the air, making it especially noticeable in the searing heat. Sakazuki roared back and threw his own giant fist of molten rock. Just a fugitive. I've been too nice to you, Barrett. Boom! Chunks of debris flew as the two fists collided, creating shockwaves of scorching wind. Sakazuki's molten fist might have been smaller, but it packed more punch and destructive force. With each hit, Barrett's fist shrunk, becoming smaller than the molten giant's, but Barrett replaced and restored material just as fast. Damn it! His devil fruit power. No matter how much armament Hawkeye I condense, my fist can't last 3 seconds before it starts melting. That while absorbing the siege wall, Barrett desperately tried to come up with a plan. He had only just busted out of prison. He kept training in the slammer, but he hadn't had the chance to battle top-tier fighters, which made him far from peak condition. Watching Kurosawa's Dark God strike and feeling Garp's punch had reignited his dormant battle sense, and he had come to the realization that every top-level fighter knows the truth: Hawkeye is the only way to become the strongest in this world. But there was no way around it. Sakazuki's magma was too dangerous. If he didn't use his devil fruit powers to fight back, it wouldn't be the machine melting into slag but Barrett's flesh and blood body. While Barrett was thinking, the magma fist was about to hit again, bathing his mechanical giant in fiery red light. Ha ha ha. Sakazuki. I recognize you. Barrett laughed. Boom! A thunderous sound shook Marineford to its foundations, and even the distant sea began to churn with colossal waves. What's going on? Another earthquake? It's Blackbeard. Amidst the crowd's cries, Teach stood high. Ha ha ha. Do you like it, Navy? Enjoy my parting gift. At that moment, on the distant coast, fishermen looked in terror as the horizon turned into an arc. That's a super tsunami. Boom! The earth continued to tremble, threatening to knock even giant islands like Marineford off balance. Navy soldiers and pirates alike clung together, barely managing to stay on their feet, except for the masters of physical skills. Buggy the Clown, staring in horror at the rising tidal wave, whined, "I'm gonna die. How can there be such a giant tsunami again?" "Well, guess it's my turn again," Gion sighed, launching himself into the air. Ice Age. In the blink of an eye, the 100-meter wave bearing down on Marineford Plaza froze solid. Thank goodness for the admirals. Despite the cheers, Gion's face remained grave. He could feel that he had only frozen the first wave, and there would be more to come. Sengoku released Garp, who seemed to be regaining his senses. Is this war finally coming to an end? Sengoku frowned. The only real threat left on the battlefield was Barrett, but even with several admirals ganging up on him, he still had a bad feeling in the pit of his stomach. Kurosawa stared into the distance. His LV-5 Six Eyes were beginning to glimpse the future. Clang! Red Hawkeye stirred the sky, shattering the frozen waves and ice. On the other side, dark clouds appeared and a massive shadow was looming in the darkness. Ding! The host's current situation has been detected. You have a new life choice. The war may be far from over. Chapter 86. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At that moment, the waves around Marineford shot skyward, initially frozen by Akiji. However, the massive tsunami Blackbeard Teach created before his exit wasn't about to just vanish. The earth-shattering tremor spread through Marineford's waters, shaking the entire seabed. Deep below, unseen, a terrifying, vibrating current began to swell, brewing a tsunami that could devastate Marineford. Back on land, countless marines and pirates finally breathed a sigh of relief after Gion froze the 100-meter waves, but then, *clang, *an intensely red aura, like a thunderclap made visible, ripped through the air. crackling with energy. The ice Kazan had just formed shattered layer by layer under the force of the domineering Hawkeye. Falling chunks of ice became deadly projectiles for the vulnerable marines below. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Watch out for the falling ice. What's with that red power? While the marines panicked and the pirates recoiled in terror, the Navy's elite admirals halted their pursuit. Is that, Hawkeye? Vice Admiral Enigmo gripped his sword hilt, staring in disbelief at the crimson energy that dominated the sky. Garp and Sengoku looked up, the latter with a bead of sweat trickling down his forehead. That level of Hawkeye, no doubt, it's red hair. But why is Kaido here, too? Sengoku was bewildered, while Garp scowled, cracking his knuckles and reluctantly turning his gaze skyward. Boom, star, the magma giant and Barrett's colossal robot clashed fists again. Sakazuki's relentless attacks were melting Barrett's creation faster than it could fuse. One of the robot's arms had already been completely incinerated by the magma. Just then, they both sensed the red aura surging skyward, and Sakazuki's expression soured. As a Navy admiral, he was well informed about the New World's 4 emperors, and the only guy in the world with that kind of Hawkeye who could be here right now was that man. Ha ha ha. What's this? Such incredible Hawkeye. It rivals Roger's back in the day. Barrett, inside his fused robot, actually laughed upon sensing the overwhelming aura. He had no idea that it belonged to Shanks, a former crewmate. Boom, lightning flashed in the dark sky, briefly illuminating a massive figure within the swirling, ominous clouds. Something's in those clouds. You gotta be kidding. It's huge and it can fly. Is that a dragon? Ha 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 ha. Red hair. Kaido. Those 2 monsters are here too. Let's get out of here, we can't stick around. Teach glanced around, unable to fathom how Kaido could fly when huge waves were happening outside Marineford, but how did Shanks even get here? Hey, hey. Stop the dragon. Those ice chunks are gonna fall. Marine stared in horror as Vice Admiral Tsuru and Garp prepared to intervene. Ding. The host's current situation has been detected. Please make a new life choice. Life choice 1, facing the impending ice barrage and Kaido's fiery breath, you choose to conserve your strength and stand by. Reward, cold-blooded, LV1. Life choice 2, you choose to act before Garp and Tsuru, preventing any marines from being injured by the falling ice. Reward, 50,000 billion berry bounty. Life choice 3, you choose to block both the falling ice and Kaido's hot breath simultaneously, preventing any marines from being injured. Reward, 100,000 billion berry bounty. Crocodile, in the midst of his escape, smirked at the falling ice. That's some terrifying Hawkeye. The Navy can't chase us now. I didn't expect Kaido to show up either. Is he intentionally helping the Straw Hats get away? Shanks. Jinbe mused. He'd crossed paths with Shanks before and recognized the massive shadow in the sky. Kaido. Fufu. Red-haired Shanks. The strongest creature Kaido. Fufu. Doflamingo perched at a vantage point. He'd wisely found a prime viewing spot, ready to enjoy the ultimate showdown. Hawkeye Mihawk frowned. He recognized that red aura, but why was Kaido here? If that ice falls, we're in big trouble. Vice Admiral Tsuru raised her hand, preparing to use her devil fruit power to turn the ice into harmless shaved ice. Whoosh, star. A figure vanished. Borsellino turned, gazing skyward. Even he was impressed by Kurosawa's explosive speed. Oh, this isn't good. Kazan, still in the air, was worried about the falling ice. Seeing Kurosawa arrive, his eyes lit up. Brother Kurosawa. You got a plan? Leave it to me. Kurosawa smiled, raising his hands. Cursed energy surged through him. Instantly, small spots of blue and white light began to grow in the sky. Kurosawa. He's got something in mind. Vice Admiral Tsuru frowned, recognizing the latter's strength. Kurosawa's performance during the war had been dazzling, but his methods for covering his teammates were a little too intense, Garp agreed. He had been planning to pulverize the falling ice with a full power punch, then let Tsuru clean up the rest, minimizing the damage. The area covered by the falling ice was huge. The entire square was surrounded by massive ice fragments, leaving everyone little chance to avoid them. Kobe groggily woke up, seeing the ice falling everywhere. He was a frightened bird, jumping up in a panic, but he collapsed, clutching his remaining leg. Wah! I want to go home. Whoever wants to fight this war, go ahead. Belmir. Why am I still here? Belmir was held at knife point, surrounded by Buggy the Clown's men. Seeing the ice falling, Buggy didn't run. Instead, his men were praising him. You're amazing, Boss Buggy. We don't know how to deal with this, but you're not scared. Yeah. Boss Buggy probably saw this coming and he's ready to take action. Buggy the Clown looked around, desperately searching for somewhere to hide. People around the world, watching this epic live broadcast through Buggy's Den Mushy, were also terrified. No way. We barely won the war, and now the Navy's gonna take a huge hit. With that much ice falling, at least half the people are gonna die. Look. Kurosawa's about to do something. Chapter 87. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Is this kid gonna use that move? Nah, the range isn't there yet, but I can work with it, huh? Garp thought of Kurosawa's Shun Juan Tsang technique. If he times it right and I throw everything I've got into it, we might just shatter that falling ice. Garp's eyes widened. In the sky, there was more than just one glowing blue orb. Phase, dusk, eye of wisdom, buzz buzz buzz, a powerful surge of energy erupted. Kurosawa was summoning 5 massive blue orbs. Their surfaces shimmered with arcane energy, like ocean currents in the sky, radiating a calming blue light. What's Kurosawa up to? Colonel Kurosawa. Yes. Colonel Kurosawa's on it. We're saved. Seeing the figure in the sky ignited the Navy soldiers. After this battle, they viewed Kurosawa as a total game changer. If Kurosawa makes a move, the tide of battle turns our way. Spell forward, Tsang, maximum output. In the sky, Kurosawa's hair flowed around him, and the blue-white light from spell forward, Tsang gave him the appearance of a god descending. His lips moved silently, the 5 giant blue orbs of spell forward, Tsang suddenly unleashed tremendous gravity. Boom! 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 Blinding light erupted, bathing all of Marineford in blue and white. A bead of sweat trickled down Kurosawa's forehead. Summoning 5 spells of this magnitude at once was his limit. The terrifying gravity detonated in the sky. With Kurosawa's careful control, it finally enveloped the entire airspace above Marineford. Crack! 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 The maximum output of the spell created a chain reaction. The gravity rolled up ice fragments and gradually condensed them into 5 colossal ice spheres, suspended above Marineford. That's Colonel Kurosawa. The Navy's rising star. The future of our new Navy. Boss. Miguel felt his blood pump. Every time Kurosawa made a move, he was blown away. We came from the same training camp. The boss is on another level. Kobe saw the ice hadn't fallen. He was just glad he was alive. When he learned Kurosawa was the one who saved them, he nearly fainted again until someone slapped him awake. While countless Navy soldiers cheered, people around the world watched with bated breath. Some experts had astute observations. I think that kid's gonna be a general someday. Another crisis averted. Sengoku smiled, then glared at Kizaru. Is that guy just standing there again? Sengoku started mentally calculating how to dock his pay. Kizaru seemed to sense the stare. Oops, I forgot Sengoku's watching. Gotta do something, or I'll get my salary cut. With that thought, Kizaru transformed into golden light particles and sped toward the area where Akainu and Bullet were fighting. Sakazuki, here I come. Ka. As the spell forward, Tsang continued to sweep with gravity, 5 gigantic blue ice spheres rotated at high speed in the sky. The world wondered what Kurosawa was going to do with them, then they saw something astonishing. The 5 ice spheres floating above Marineford slowly drew together. What's Kurosawa planning? Is he trying to fuse all 5 ice spheres together and smash the pirates or the robot? Ignoring everyone else, Kurosawa focused on the technique of Shunsang to fuse the orbs. It pushed his limits, but it was the only way to completely block Kaido's incoming fire breath and prevent casualties in the navy. The spectators understood Kurosawa's plan in short order. Red light suddenly surged in the dark, thunderous clouds above. A massive flame blast, like a laser, shot out, instantly piercing the sky with sparks and heading straight for Marineford with overwhelming force. At that exact moment, Kurosawa had fused his 5 ice orbs. Controlled by Kurosawa, they intercepted the flame blast. Before anyone could react, whoosh, the flame blast slammed into the massive ice orb. Kaido's intense heat instantly melted a large portion of the ice, and white mist engulfed the sky. Whoosh, the intense heat vaporized the ice into white mist. What's going on? Who fired that? Unlike the ordinary soldiers, the Navy HQ vice admirals were shocked. That attack was too fast. If Kurosawa hadn't created that ice orb to block it, the result would have been. Sengoku was also surprised. Kaido's fire breath was unexpected. The strong might survive, but it would devastate ordinary soldiers. Moreover, most of the vice admirals were in rough shape after fighting Bullet. They wouldn't fare well against that kind of attack. Sengoku's keen eyes pierced the white mist. Could it be future sight? Kurosawa. Whoosh, 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 as the mist rose, Akiji stared at Kurosawa. The sudden heat blast caught even him off guard. Kurosawa. You're amazing. Huff. Kurosawa took a long breath and looked up at the sky. It's not over yet. Get ready to fight, ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully resolving the naval crisis. Reward, 100,000 billion level bounty value. Billion level bounty value, 525,150 points. The flame blast dissipated, and the giant ice sphere that had covered the sky was completely melted. Flashes of red light pierced through the snow-white mist. Thump thump, a one-armed red-haired man landed, each step cracking the ground. The invisible pressure emanating from his body made the Navy soldiers within hundreds of meters faint. Whoa-ho-ho, the black dragon roared as it swooped down. Its scales glistened, its claws sparked with flames, and it exuded power. Everyone finally saw the newcomers. That guy is one of the 4 emperors. Red-haired Shanks. His bounty is 4,048,900,000 berries. That dragon, there's no mistaking it. It's the fish fruit, mythical Zoan, azure dragon form, for Emperor's Kaido. His bounty is 4,611,100,000 berries. The 2 emperors had landed at Marineford. Ding! The host's current situation has been detected. You have new life choices. Chapter 88. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What are those 2 doing here? Planning to pick a fight with the Navy? Damn it, not just the Whitebeard Pirates, but Kaido and red-haired Shanks are here too. We're doomed. We're all gonna die. Kobe mumbled, his face already bruised from getting slapped. Marineford Square was now dominated by 2 terrifying auras, one red and overwhelming, the other a dark, draconic presence. Both the man and the dragon radiated an intense, suffocating pressure. Just his stance alone screams power. The Navy soldiers stared at them, especially Shanks, who simply stood there, radiating an aura like a ferocious beast, nearly as intimidating as the dark dragon. People watching the live broadcast around the world had thought it was all over. Whitebeard and Ace were dead, their captains were defeated, and the Navy had decisively won the war, but with the arrival of these 2 pirates, the final outcome was uncertain once again. One person swallowed hard, looking at the 2 powerful pirate emperors. The Navy headquarters just fought the Whitebeard Pirates. Now they're facing two emperors in their prime. Do they really stand a chance? Two emperors in their prime? Not exactly. Looks like only two members of the Beast Pirates are here. It took every elite the Navy had, all three admirals, just to deal with Whitebeard. Now there are two more emperors. People around the world couldn't imagine what would happen if Shanks and Kaido joined the fight. If the Navy headquarters fell, the justice of the seas would collapse, the entire ocean would become a pirate playground. The victory over Whitebeard and Ace's execution would all be for nothing. While the world was in shock, a clown broke the tension. Hey! Red hair! What the heck are you doing here, you bum? Buggy the clown spotted his old friend and couldn't help but yell, as unafraid as ever. The two emperors had barely made their grand entrance when Buggy's voice rang out. Everyone stared at him in disbelief. Wait, did he just yell at Shanks like that? Who is this guy? Isn't he just a clown pirate? Buggy's crew puffed out their chests, radiating pride. Look, they seem to say, the guy yelling at an emperor is our boss. That's our Captain Buggy. Even an emperor like Shanks can't talk back. So strong. That's the pressure of Captain Buggy. We'll follow you forever. The cheers caught Shanks' attention. He turned, his face dark for a moment, then broke into a grin. Ah, Buggy. Long time no see. I've missed you so much. Who'd miss you, you idiot? I hope you drop dead. Buggy snapped back, sending his crew into a frenzy. Whoa! Captain Buggy must be someone special if Shanks is trying to suck up to him. But even with the Emperor's flattery, Captain Buggy isn't impressed. Captain Buggy is amazing. Hearing people call the red-haired guy Shanks sent shivers down Barrett's spine as he battled Borsalino and Sakazuki. Could that be Shanks, the kid who trained on Roger's ship? He's mastered his hockey to this level. Barrett's eyes widened, and his body trembled as the magma and laser attacks battered his combined robot. Ha! Buggy, we'll catch up later. I have some urgent business. Shanks smiled lightly, his expression hardening as he turned his blue eyes towards the battlefield. Red hair. Sengoku stared at Shanks, his voice grave. What are you doing here? And Kaido, are you planning to team up and fight the Navy? Fish Gururara. The dark dragon cackled, descending lower. Kaido boomed, what's wrong, Sengoku? Scared? So, red hair, what brings you here? Kaido asked, his eyes curious. Then, he grinned. Since you're here, how about we team up and wreck this place? Red hair ignored Kaido, glancing at the chaos where Barrett was fighting. He took a step forward, drawing his sword, Griffin, *ZZZT, Conqueror's hockey erupted, a burst of red light exploded from Shanks, instantly engulfing the area where Barrett was fighting. The intense Conqueror's hockey slammed down like a tidal wave. Under Shanks' precise control, the red hockey wrapped around Barrett, Sakazuki, and Borsalino like chains from the heavens. Before the shocked eyes of the world, the three men caught in the red hockey chains were forced back. Barrett's already battered combined robot crumbled back into its original form, then came Borsalino. No matter how he tried to transform into golden light particles, the red hockey chains caught up and suppressed him, forcing him back into human form. Whoa! What's going on? Sakazuki's magma giant fared no better. The red hockey seemed to imprison even the power of the devil fruit, and the magma form quickly shrank back into its human shape. Red hair. Sakazuki growled, his face twisted in rage. He was about to take down Barrett, and this guy had to interfere. Barrett, equally shocked, stared at Shanks. He had forced awakened devil fruit users back to their base forms. Had this guy's hockey truly reached Roger's level? The red hockey pulsed, and Shanks spoke, his voice deep. The Navy has already achieved a great victory. Your goal has been accomplished. There's no need for further bloodshed. Stop this war. Please, give me some face. Chapter 89. You are listening at novelfull.audio. FFFFFFFFF. Go, go, go. Doflamingo was practically bouncing with excitement. Is this the legendary power of red-haired Shanks? He just single-handedly knocked Admiral Sakazuki and Borsalino back to square one. Those two admirals combined couldn't break that robot, but red hair made Barrett revert in a heartbeat. Is red-haired Shanks the bane of all devil fruit users? Does that mean Colonel Kurosawa doesn't stand a chance against him? Countless Navy soldiers stared at Shanks in disbelief. With just a flash of his sword, he'd overpowered three incredibly strong fruit users, forcing them back to their base forms with sheer force of will. This kind of power was even scarier than Whitebeard at his peak. How about we call it quits? Just give me a little face here. Shanks's words hung in the air, stunning everyone in Marineford Square, except for Kurosawa, whose blue eyes seemed to penetrate everything. Sensing the heat in Shanks's gaze, Kurosawa couldn't help but smirk. End the war. You've gotta be kidding me, red hair. Barrett snarled, the dormant power within him slowly awakening with the intensity of the battle. The level of dominance he could unleash now was far greater than when he'd first broken out of prison. There was no way he was going to stop now. Huh? Red hair, what did you say? You're not here to fight me. You want to end the war. Kaido roared in disbelief. A warmonger like him would never stand for that. Garp's face darkened as he glared at Shanks. Red-haired Shanks, the man who led Luffy down the pirate path. Doflamingo's smile faltered. Huh? Did I hear that right? End the war. And miss all the fun. End the war. Wasn't he here to start one? Since when does a pirate show up to end a war? That the Navy soldiers were confused, and even the vice admirals were taken aback. Facing the pressure of two emperors, the current situation showed that while the Whitebeard Pirates had been defeated, the Navy had also suffered heavy losses. Ending the war here would mean a great victory for the Navy, which actually seemed like the best possible outcome. The Navy soldiers were swayed by Shanks's words, and the vice admirals remained cautiously still. Kazan watched with detached interest, while Borsalino was probably already thinking about going home. Even Sengoku was starting to waver. Only one person stood firm. Lava erupted from his body, setting him ablaze. He embodied unwavering justice. You're just a pirate. Don't talk to me about avoiding casualties. Spare us the hypocrisy. Sakazuki's stern face shattered the uneasy calm. Sakazuki. Sengoku's eyes lit up. Red-haired Shanks saw Sakazuki stepping forward, and his eyes narrowed. If you insist on continuing, then you'll have to deal with us. As soon as the words left his mouth, the red-hair pirates appeared behind Shanks, standing shoulder to shoulder. The whole crew's here. They may be few, but they're all top-tier pirates. Hold it right there, Kizaru. A figure materialized next to Borsalino, leveling a gun, its bullets reinforced with Hawkeye, directly at his head. Whoa there. Scary. But I wasn't planning on moving at all, Borsalino said, raising his hands in mock surrender while glancing at Ben Beckman. A threat? What if you are our opponents? The Navy's justice doesn't allow pirates to run rampant. Sakazuki roared, the molten lava pouring off his body growing even hotter, radiating his unwavering resolve. Does your so-called righteous Navy need to watch countless soldiers bleed and die to feel justified? Aren't pirates human beings, too? Don't they deserve to live? Shanks demanded, his face grim. They have families, children. What happens to them when they die? A chill went down everyone's spines. His words painted the Navy, the very symbol of justice that hunted pirates, with a brush of evil. Many Navy soldiers began to waver, questioning their mission. Ha! Aren't the Navy's sacrifices your fault, you pirate scum? Navy soldiers don't have families and children. Whoosh, Kurosawa appeared in the air, gazing down at Shanks. And are pirates who burn, kill, and loot innocent civilians worthy of being considered human? If the pirates don't die, then the Navy will. That his words echoed throughout the world, ringing with truth. Hearing Kurosawa's declaration, countless Navy soldiers stood firm, their eyes filled with admiration. Yes, our Navy exists to exterminate evil pirates. The righteous army of pirates. If the pirates don't die, then should the Navy die? How ridiculous. Sengoku's eyes lit up. He realized Kurosawa had a point. Even Sakazuki gazed at Kurosawa with respect. His words struck a chord with him. He had never felt understood before, and to find someone in the Navy who shared his ideals was a revelation. If the time and place were right, Sakazuki would have wanted to become sworn brothers with Kurosawa. Kurosawa must have forgiven him for not saving him before. Shanks was stunned into silence. Kaido chuckled. Barrett was thrilled. Doflamingo's lips curled into a smile, eager to continue watching the chaos unfold. Just then, a disheveled, pink-haired figure stumbled forward. Stop fighting. The war has to end here. There are too many casualties. Kobe had somehow broken free from Buggy's restraints and now stood before the world, fueled by sheer willpower. Who's this guy? Is he a Navy soldier? He's missing arms and legs. Poor guy. It's all thanks to those pirates. Those bastards actually did this to a Navy soldier who fought bravely, risking his life. Unforgivable, that just as the world was beginning to feel sympathetic toward Kobe, he said something shocking. Look around you. Just like me, the Navy soldiers who fight pirates for justice, heedless of their own safety, are covered in scars. Even if they lose an arm or a leg, they keep fighting. Kobe continued, tears streaming down his face. But what about the other comrades who have fallen? Hunting pirates for justice, ignoring the cries of comrades, abandoning those who have lived and died together. Is this really justice? I want to speak up for them. And the war has been won, right? So stop it. Kobe shouted at the top of his lungs. His words were broadcast live across the world through Buggy's Den Mushi. Kobe's scars, his tattered Navy uniform, and those tears combined to sway hearts. Sengoku frowned, and Sakazuki's face darkened. Seeing this, Shanks, who had been struggling, grinned and seized the opportunity to praise Kobe, hoping to amplify the impact of his words. Young Marine, the few seconds you mustered up the courage are enough to change the world. The endorsement of an emperor carried significant weight. He couldn't have asked for a better opportunity. Unexpectedly, Kurosawa cut him off with a snap of his fingers. Hold up. Chapter 90. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Huh. Everyone turned to Kurosawa, who just stared at Kobe like he was a complete idiot. The victory our soldiers risked everything for will be tainted because of you. If you let a pirate escape today, who knows how many innocent people or Marines will die in the future? Can you live with that? Besides, your injuries have nothing to do with you fighting pirates. A deserter like you has no right to talk about justice. Kurosawa's words stunned everyone. Deserter? Is he saying that Marine deserted? Hearing Kurosawa's accusation, Kobe's heart skipped a beat. He'd thought that only Bellamere would have noticed his performance in the war, especially after Shanks praised him. After all, he was just a low-ranking sergeant. There's no way anyone had a high-def Den Mushi recording his every move, right? Gathering his courage, Kobe retorted in a stern voice, "You cold-blooded jerk, why are you calling me a deserter? These wounds are proof of my fighting. You're slandering me." Kobe shook his injured arm and cried, acting as if he'd been deeply wronged. Those who didn't know the truth started looking at Kurosawa with suspicion. What the Marine is saying sounds legit. Yeah. Maybe we misunderstood him. Those are obviously fresh wounds. He must have gotten them in battle. Maybe there's something we don't know. Yeah, Kurosawa might be one of those wolves in sheep's clothing, pretending to be righteous to hide his dirty deeds. Kurosawa ignored the murmurs. He simply sneered at Kobe's performance and glanced towards Buggy. Buggy flinched when Kurosawa looked at him. So, that's why the boss wanted me here. asterisk could it be that Kurosawa predicted this Marine would slander him like this, star. Asterisk the ability to see the future, or observation Hawkeye strong enough to foresee events, asterisk. Asterisk he's not just powerful, he's a brilliant strategist too. This guy is terrifying. I definitely don't want to mess with him, star. Everyone, watch the video. Buggy thought, snapping himself back to attention. As he spoke, screens around the world switched to show Kobe's actions during the war. The screen showed Kobe screaming, "Too scary. That's Whitebeard. Let's get out of here." As his arm was broken, then it showed him pleading, "Don't kill me, don't kill me. Bellamar, let's run. I can't take it anymore." What? Kurosawa is that strong? How come a guy like him hasn't been killed by pirates? Go get Luffy. Kobe's actions were displayed in all their embarrassing glory. Finally, the screen showed Kobe running away when a flying rock broke his legs. Suddenly, everyone realized that the Marine's injuries weren't from fighting pirates, but from deserting and being taken out. Kobe's righteous performance was now playing in 120 frames per second in perfect detail, thanks to Buggy's 1080p Den Mushi broadcast. As the live broadcast continued, Kobe's face paled until he was shaking uncontrollably, muttering, "This isn't true. It's not true. He set me up." After the video ended, the world was silent for a moment. Then, the Navy soldiers in Marineford Square exploded with anger. "This is what you call fighting to the death. You're worse than dirt. Not only did you not fight, you lowered morale, deserted the battlefield, and tarnished the image of the Navy. You deserve to die. You are unforgivable." This bastard was hypocritically preaching about justice. He's a coward who's afraid of death, pretending to be noble. Yeah. If it wasn't for Colonel Kurosawa's wisdom, would have misunderstood him and let this scum get away with it. Disgusting. Faced with the Navy's anger and the accusations, Kobe felt the world collapsing around him. Bellamar wanted to disappear. Kobe had mentioned him in the Den Mushi video. Would he be punished because of this? Death in battle would have been better than this. Sakazuki had had enough. No wonder he couldn't stand this pink-haired guy. He was truly disgusting. Deserting, lowering morale, and insulting Kurosawa, someone who shared his ideals. Sakazuki wanted to kill him for any one of those actions. Sizzle. Hot magma dripped onto the ground. Sakazuki walked towards Kobe with a dark look on his face. "You're a disgrace to my righteous Navy. Go to hell. What are you doing? Even if I'm a deserter, I deserve a military trial. You can't just kill me as an admiral." Red magma radiated intense heat. Kobe tried to argue, but Sakazuki didn't care. He threw a punch. Sizzle.